How do you analyze the French position in this respect?
Not more than 10 minutes.
No, maybe 10 seconds would be enough. Look, the question is, why is Germany in such a strong position? That's the first question, right? And Germany is in a strong position because its economy is strong. So you can't get out of that in the end. And these issues of structural reform, this is my point about what's actually happening, because the same applies to the UK. I always say to people, if I have any regret on domestic policy in the UK, it's not having pushed the reform agenda even further. We're living in an era today where these reforms are absolutely necessary. So in a way, you know, your position of leadership is in part determined by your position of strength. But then I think there is this other question that is actually profound about the politics of France and Germany, and the UK fits into this bizarrely, which is that I think whereas German politics is actually more at home with a kind of federalist concept, I think for the UK and to an extent for France, it's less at home. That's why in the end you're going to have some sort of compromise between these two situations. But you know, Europe has always had this German-French relationship, which can be very difficult at points, but is hugely important to how Europe functions. My point is that going forward, you've got to get the right policy solutions. You know, that is what this thing is about in the end. And that's why I say that part of this, yes, may be about political structures, but part of it is actually about getting the right answer on what are really difficult questions. And in my view, the answers are not actually traditionally left-right answers. You know, they're more about right and wrong rather than right and left. They're actually to do with how do you manage in a changing society and changing world with changing technology, changing geopolitics, how do you get Europe strong? Because to reference what Gerhard's just been saying, I think in some ways on this we're saying the same thing. Europe will mean something to people when it's clear Europe means more jobs, more opportunity, better protection for the citizen, where the values that Europe stands for are more regarded in the world because Europe's strong enough to front them up. You know, if that's what Europe's about, it's going to get support. And the truth is, for all of us, you know, sovereign, yeah, safety, security, how you know, there's so many things that Europe could be doing together, common energy policy on the environment and so on, where Europe could take a lead. And in that lead, you would, I think, get a lot of support from European citizens. So, look, you've got a short-term and a long-term issue. I mean, short-term, it does depend on German leadership, I'm afraid, more than anything else. And maybe I'll answer the question a little more bluntly than I did before. If you want the outsider's view, and the outsider's view at the moment is that never mind German political leaders, German people, right? What people feel is that German people are saying, we may have to pay for you guys. We're not sure you're worth it, so go prove it. Right. Now, in that credibility gap lies the problem. You know, because you're all in that thing together. So that is the immediate, bluntly, that is the immediate political issue that has to be resolved. And that is then translated into the types of measures that Gerhard and Peter were talking about. Longer term, it's got to be, as I think all of the political leaders are saying, it's got to be about making us stronger and making the individual citizen feel, I'm going to be better off, more secure, better able for my values to be values that are regarded by the world if I'm in Europe. And somehow we've got to find our way back to that, but they won't listen to any of that long-term stuff until the short term is effectively dealt with.
And no judgment about the French policies.
The French policies, look, France fits into this in the way it's always fitted into it.
Which is?
Very important and very difficult.